Pastor Charlie Evans and just a few words this afternoon about Japan and Japanese history from the 16th century through the 19th century. And most of this period coincides with a period of history known as the Tokugawa Shogunate. There's a lot of different ways to think of the Tokugawa Shogunate, and some people might disagree and some people might argue with this, but one of the easiest things to think about is in terms of a feudal government structure. The shoguns were military leaders. The shogunate was a clan-based military government that controlled Japan through this period of time. So, what does that all mean? Essentially, there was an emperor in Japan. The emperor was the emperor of Japan, but the emperor wielded no real effective political power. Political power was concentrated in the local, if we want to use this term, warlords, the local lords. The Tokugawa family was able to consolidate its hold over these regional lords, these feudal lords, in the early 17th century. And from that period of time until they gave up effective political control to the Emperor Meiji in the 1860s, the Tokugawa family controlled Japan. One of the key things that the family did was that they isolated Japan in this period of time. They banned Christianity. They severely restricted trade. And they almost enacted a complete period of isolation. And this was, of course, because the family considered Christianity and foreigners a possible threat to their control and their rule in Japan. And so, in some ways, that really held back Japan's development for almost 2 centuries. But in another respect, it also ensured that Japan remained a kind of a cultural, socio-economical, political unit, that it wasn't infiltrated or influenced by any outside resources. So it really established a kind of cultural monolithic entity in Japan. It also made sure that completely lost my chain of thought there. So so the Tokugawa shogunate is really kind of a last gasp of a feudal political structure in Japan that controlled Japan for the 2 centuries. Of course, most people, when they think of Japan, they think of samurai. And of course, there were samurai roaming Japan really by the early part of this period. By the later part of the period, the warrior class had really kind of ceased to be much of any importance within the political structure of Japan. So that's really what I have to say about Japan. We talk about Japan again when we look at the process of industrialization and modernization in the late 19th century. And Japan really industrialized and modernized very, very effectively, very, very quickly, early in a span of like 40 years or so. And one of the reasons for the success might have been the fact that Japanese society and culture was so Japanese that modernization and industrialization really was effectively carried out by the emperor in a spirit of moving ahead. As you see from the notes that we were looking at on the screen, those are really the important things that you want to focus on in your reading the textbook for this unit on Japan. Okay,